What's up, guys? So after a long time of teasing or of saying it's coming, the tier list is finally here. It did take me a really long time to do, so I'd really appreciate a like or subscribing if you're new and you've just seen it. It will be available in the comments as a picture, so you can take that one and have it available to you at all times. I do kind of want this to be sort of a channel-wide thing where we have it every 2 weeks or every month, and there are a lot of comments on it to say, what you like, what you don't like, who you want up, who you want down, and that would be perfect. A bit of interaction would be great, and if you see it, you like it, give it a like, share it, send it to your Alliance group chats or to your mates. That'd be perfect. Thanks. So let's get in. So I've got 9 tiers at the top. As you can see, the first 4 are one above all, top 5, pushing the boundary, and definitely upgrade. So we'll start with Cosmic. The one above all is Galen. In my opinion, he is the best champ maybe in the game. No, Dr. Doom's probably the best in the game, but he is definitely one of the best champs, and in my opinion, the best Cosmic champion. I think that the harvest damage that he does is just incredible. The synergies that he has, just the massive utility is so useful. So he's my one above all in the Cosmic. In the top 5, so this top 5 class is the remaining 4 to make up a top 5 in no particular order of just sort of who I think obviously is the next best 5. So Hercules, CGR, Hulkling, and Null. So Hercules, everyone knows about Hercules. He's probably the one who could slip into one above all, but in my opinion, Galen's that little bit better. The True Strike just makes him ideal for Penny, the perfect counter, and she's obviously one of the best defenders, and he just shreds through content, any content, mass utility. The amount of damage he does is perfect. The same with CGR, really. Lots of utility. The unblockable specials, the run that you can do with him, just so useful. And yeah, in that top 5 for me. Hulkling, the same. He probably could. Him, Hercules, and Galen are probably top 3. Hulkling, just the indestructibles that he gets, the unblockables, the pierce. They're just so much utility. Perfect for battlegrounds. Great attacker, great defender. As with all these top 5 are. If you get him, upgrade him instantly. That's what the top 5 will be. Upgrade straight away. And yeah, just so useful on those parts. And Null, really good defender. As you can see, I've got him on my channel. I know what he's like. Always wins a battleground defense. Really good for taking down content. A bit more difficult to get. That's why he's probably not my 1, 2, 3, or 4. Hard to get hold of. But once you've got him and you know how to use him, ideal. And then pushing the boundary, we've got Corvus, Hyperion, Cersei, Venom, Arcus, and King Groot. Arcus is in there as he's I'm a fan favourite. Perfect. Really love him. The armor break, the cold snap. Not many people are immune to it. King Groot, survivability at Sig 200. Perfect for incursions. Venom, really good. Really high utility. Cersei, a great defender for battlegrounds. One of the best. And then Hyperion and Corvus, really good. Utility. Corvus with the charges, that much damage he can do is perfect for getting through Act 6. If I had him, I think I would already be Thronebreaker. Really good. And Hyperion, power gain. If you've not got a power control, there's just no way you can stop him getting to that SP3. And then I'll definitely upgrade. We've got Odin, Venompool, Angela, Captain Marvel movie, Gore, and Medusa. So just running through them. Odin, really good, great synergies, good champ. Venompool, really useful, is probably the best of the Deadpool variant type things. Angela, really good for content. Captain Marvel movie is probably someone who could push the boundary, be in that lower tier, but she just falls back, as I haven't really had much time to try her out, but I've seen what she can do in incursions. Gore is due an upgrade, but I actually think he's really difficult, a really good defender in BG. Think he's a good champ. He does a lot of regeneration if you've got somebody who's laying a lot of poisons like Immortal Abomination. Really good champ. I think if he's getting a buff, he'll be very good, and he could push that boundary. And then we've got Medusa, who is one of the best robot killers in the game. She takes out them so fast. The parries, the fury buffs. Really, really good champ. So let me know what you think of sort of that top 17, what you think about it, and we'll be moving on to God tier. So we've got Gamora, Terrax, the Champion, Proxima, Silver Surfer, Icarus, and Venom the Duck. Gamora got that buff, really good champ now. Terrax, one of the best BG defenders. That armor break and the rock field is so annoying. The Champion isn't a bad champ, obviously, but not one of the best. Proxima is one I've moved up as I've got her, and I think if it's a really long fight, those 3 prowesses from completing the missions come out perfectly. Silver Surfer, another one, really high prestige, could go higher. Obviously, I'll need you guys to let me know. And then we've got Icarus and Venom the Duck, who not use them too much, but willing to hear more. They're in the God tier. They're people who could be upgraded, but you know, if you've got those other ones, prioritize the 17 above. And then in worth upgrading, we've got these are a bit more of the same as the next one with a specific niche. Those 2 are champions who are not bad, but they do definitely have a bit more of a specific use to them. Black Bolt, not a great champ, not bad. He is one of the better, especially with synergies. He's really good. Super Scroll has that miss counter, Incinerate, invisibility, just really useful, really high utility. Hela, again, really good with the Indestructible's damage. Carnage, Red Goblin, and Cold Obsidian all have their uses and can be very useful. And then in the specific niche, we've got Heimdall for, as you saw in my gameplay, the 6.2.2 with the Mr. Sinister boss. That Fury, really useful. Thor, really good champ, OG, could be upgraded. He's not actually as bad as many people think. Annihilus and Nova are really good defenders in Battlegrounds. And then we move over to the buffable tier. I've got Doctor Doom written here. I can't, for the life of me, think why I've got him written there. But, you know, he's obviously not supposed to be there. Superior Iron Man could be in the last tier. These are all champs that need a buff. They're all not very good champions. If you get them, do not bother. Leave them where they are. Miss Marvels are poison immune, but that's it. Sim Spidey can evade, but he's very useful. Phoenix and Thanos are quite rubbish. And then my most needed buff as the last tier is Drax. I think he is a really bad champ. The only thing he's got is Fury. He's really easy to dex. If he's a defender, you can take him down instantly. If he isn't, then you don't even really need to bother. I feel like he is one of those who definitely really instantly needs a buff. But that's the Cosmic tier. Let me know what you think, or the Cosmic class. Who needs to go up, who needs to go down. And we'll be moving on to the Mutants now. So my one above all is Kitty Pryde. I think she's the best champ. If you see what really good Kitty Pryde players can do, Legacy is the one of the ones I watch the most. She can take down anyone. It doesn't matter what they've got, what the nodes are. She is just really one of the most perfect champs. Then we move on to the top 5. Apocalypse, so useful. Horseman buff, is one of the best champs in the game. Again, Magneto Red, the metal champs, you can just take them out so fast. The prowesses, if you get the right rotation on him, so much damage, can take out anyone, any metal champion. One of the best. Archangel, if you just see the way a high Archangel shreds through a Nick Fury or some of the best defenders, there's just nothing they can do. And if you get a Sig 200 Omega Red, then the same with him. He can shred through anybody. Good defender, or not a bad defender, a fantastic attacker. But you've got a lot of, like, Magneto Red, really good defender, really good attacker. Apocalypse, really good defender, really good attacker. Kitty Pryde, there's a reason she's always banned in Battlegrounds. But they're just perfect for every little scenario, and that's why they're in the top 5. Pushing the boundary, we've got Magneto White, very, very similar to Magneto Red. The guidance could even put him above in certain situations. With Atuma, you saw me use a 4-star one just to get that passive stun. Really good champion, does almost all the same things. I think Magneto Red is a little bit better. Strife, really good if you get the genetic build up on him. You know, can do a lot of damage. Professor X, I just pulled a 6-star. I need to use him more. If you can get a really good rotation or get really good at playing him, he's one of the best mutants in the game. Havoc, the amount of unblockables that he can get, the damage that he can do with the plasma charges and the plasma detonation, that does so much damage. And then Domino and Bishop are 2 of the best defenders or attackers in Battlegrounds. the unblockable SP2 on Bishop and Domino just being an absolute pain to deal with. She could be in top 5. She'd be in my top 5 best defenders in all of the game for Battlegrounds. So, or, you know, top 10 at least. So, really, 2 really good champs. And then you've got Namor, Sig 200, really good champion. Sunspot shreds through with those incinerates really hard on defense or offense, can shred through anyone. Colossus, one of the ones who got a buff recently. Before the buff, he was useless, so bad. Whereas now you've got a lot more well-rounded champion, high for utility. The same with Toad. Those poisons on defense in Battlegrounds, there's just nothing you can do about them. And then Weapon X is somebody I've never used, but I can see people use him and how good he is. He's somebody I really, really want. And we've got Storm X as well, who I think is a bit of an underrated champ. I feel like she could be used a bit more. The prowesses that she has, sometimes unblockable. The amount of through the block damage that she does is insane. But we'll move on to the next tier. We've got Wolverine, Cable, Storm, Gambit, Emma Frost, and Sauron. Sauron, a really good defender. Battlegrounds, that unblockable, really difficult to deal with. Wolverine with his regeneration. Cable, really good on synergies and does a lot of damage through the block. Storm, again, like Storm X, the passive stun's perfect, really useful, really good for taking on Kingpin. Gambit is used by a lot of higher level channels. For example, Legacy has him in his Battleground deck, and Emma Frost is really difficult on defense. Really pain in the ass if you go through her in quests. The same with Mr. Sinister, he is really annoying in the next tier. Sabretooth really good if those regenerations build up. Iceman, very similar to Emma Frost. The Cold Snap is so annoying, and with not many counters to her, there's just really not much you can do. Like, if he gets the Cold Snap on you, that's 50% of your health gone, guaranteed. And then we have Captain Britain and Rogue. Rogue's champion I've used a lot. Power's still very useful, but she could do with a bit of a buff. And Captain Britain, new, not used her too much. On defense can be a bit of a pain, but I'm not too sure. And then we've got the Platinum Deadpool, Red Deadpool, Old Man Logan, another Deadpool, and Jubilee. Old Man Logan is pretty good. Unblockable attacks. The regeneration isn't bad. Red Deadpool obviously has the best regeneration in the game, but him and the other Deadpools are really not great. An annoying Deadpool X-Force on one of the quests, 6.2.5 I think it was. So annoying with the 25% below unblockable. And then Jubilee is somebody people have said is underrated, but I think she is really bad. And then we have Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Gold Deadpool, X-23 and Psylocke. X-23 would be a really good champ if she didn't have a max limit on her bleeds. I don't know why she has that. Many champions don't, but I guess that's luck of the draw. And Gold Deadpool, again, really bad champ. Cyclops, not great. Nightcrawler, good in the last meta with the evades, but apart from that, apart from evading, he does hardly any damage. Is really just not a very good champion, and is definitely somebody who's not worth taking up. All these champions do need a buff desperately. The same as the last column with all the Deadpools in and Old Man Logan. They do need a bit of a buff just to make them that little bit better. But that's it for sort of that area. But that is most of the mutant class. If I'm going to try and separate this video out into classes, so you'll see that that in the separation in the video. So if you want to skip to a specific class, obviously this will be the only video where I go through each individual champ. After that, I'll only change the people I've moved up or down, or what the comments have said, and then that will sort of be how these videos go. Beast is the worst champ in my opinion. He's so bad. Easy to dex, easy to kill, or easy to knock out. Really bad buffs. Is just completely useless. So for me, he is the worst champ in the mutant class. Maybe even one of the worst champs in the game. So bad. So now we're going to move on to the Mystic class. So this is one of the classes that I've sort of had the least amount of experience with. I don't have many Mystic champs. I only really have Tigra and that's it. One above all is obviously Dr. Doom. That's probably everyone's favourite champ, or at least everyone's champ that they, rank up immediately as soon as they get him. So good utility-wise, so good at clearing quests, so good as a defender, so good as an attacker. He is the ultimate champion. He is, the number one of the best in the game. There's not really much else you can say about him. Everyone knows about him, so may as well go on to the top 5. So we've got Tigra, Rintrah, Diablo and Clairvoyant. Tigra, if you get her right, is probably the best Mystic. Somebody like Fintech, just the way that you can hold heavy and miss projectiles, everything misses. So good on attack, so good at clearing quests. The neutralizers are so effective, really, really good. Rintra, the same, the neutralize on every hit, the random unstoppables, the unblockables, so difficult to defend him. Really, really good champ, so worth taking up. Even if it's just for defense on Battlegrounds, he's so, so good. And then you've got with Diablo and Clairvoyant, just utility monsters. You know, Diablo with the poisons, you just 3-hit combo and you get a poison. It's probably the fastest way to rank up damaging debuffs on anyone. So Diablo just perfect for taking out anyone who isn't poison immune. And Clairvoyant, bleed immune or limited bleeds, poison immune, really good. Immune, like, so good for suicides, really good utility, so good to use. Hood, Sigil Witch, Magic, Longshot, Wiccan and Dragon Man. Magic would be higher if she wasn't 5-star restricted. Such a good champion, so much you can do with her. So hard to play against. The Hood, underrated in my opinion, really underrated. Sigil Witch, a great champ, but you obviously have to pay. Then you've got Wiccan and Longshot, quite similar. Wiccan has those neutralizers, but Longshot with, you know, Wiccan, really good champ, really good, should level him up. The same with Longshot. You've got that Karma. That Karma can do some really high damage. And Dragon Man with the immune to both poison and bleed. Really, really useful champion. Really good. Incinerates. Lots of health. Sort of one of the most perfect defenders. Wong and Sorcerer Supreme. Funny as Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme, but they are also two really good champs for utility. Wong, really difficult to on defense. Sorcerer Supreme, the same. The power, the amount of quests that she is perfect for. Just both really good champs, should be bought up. Couldn't recommend them more. Dr. Voodoo, really good, high regeneration. Haven't had too much time to use him or Mojo, so I know Mojo's really good on defense, but I can't speak much for them. Same with Mystic Spidey and Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch being 5-star restricted, very difficult. Mystic Spidey being new. Hopefully I have more information from you guys in the comments. Symbiote Supreme, really strange on his power, so I'm not sure about him. Juggernaut, the update to the Unstoppables, good on attack, rubbish on defense, but if you've got him as attack, he can be a monster. And then we've got Mephisto, Man-Thing, and Sasquatch, 2 or 3 really good defense champions. One of, 3 of the best. Just such good champs. There's not much else to say with them. Mephisto with the Incinerates. If you get somebody's Incinerate immune, apart from that, he takes out anyone in Battlegrounds, so you got to get him up. Man-Thing, really good with the poisons. But, really good champs. We move on to the next category, which was a bit of a weird one for me, because Purgatory, I really, really like. I think she's Demonic Rampage. That SP2 does so much damage. I think she's so good. Could have gone higher, but the Mystic class is just so strong. Morningstar, all those bleeds, if they're not bleed immune, does so much damage. And these were the tricky ones for me. Ebony Maw and Mangog, both of them, I hate fighting both of them. So difficult. Ebony Maw I cannot get to grips with. I think he's so hard to play against. It's so hard to put him this low. I'd be interested to see what you guys say, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes up. And then Mordo and Guillotine. I've got Mordo, really good champ. Hard to play against. Great on defense because the Astral Evade. And Guillotine, not bad. Does some unblockable damage, but isn't the best. Maybe could move across a tier. And then in that tier we have American Chavez, Ghost Rider and Dormammu. Dormammu really good for power control, but unfortunately he just does no damage. He's really not great. He's good on the power drains, but apart from that, there's not much you can really do with him. Ghost Rider good, needs a buff. He was so good at the beginning of the game. Great regeneration on his heavy attack, but he's just outdated. So sad to see. And American Chavez has got a buff coming, or has been buffed. I think she's got a buff coming. Hard. If she's in the negative zone on the SP2, you get hit by it. That's end of. Good defender. If she's not, a lot easier to take out. So yeah, she definitely does need that buff. And then we've got Unstoppable Colossus. Those Unstoppables really annoying, but once you get past those, he's a nothing champ. You know, nothing about him that's in the loyalty that it costs to buy him is not worth it. Just rubbish, needs a buff. Doctor Strange needs a buff. Look how good he is in the MCU, how powerful he is. In this game, he's dog crap. He is horrendously bad. So easy to take on. Not good at attacking, not good at defending. The same with Loki. Not good at attacking, not good at defending. Take out so easy. You see those champs, you say, thank you. Good night. That's an easy win. And then for Thor, Jane Foster, she got that buff. Didn't make a difference. Was still pretty rubbish. So it is a big shame, but that's that. Not much to say about those 4. They are really bad. And Iron Fist is the worst of the worst. One of the worst champs. Nothing good about him. Does no damage. Just rubbish in general. He needs the biggest buff out of maybe anyone on this list. He's not the buff I want to see the most. That will be coming up soon, but he's one of the buffs that is needed the most. And now we move on to the science class. What some people's favourite class, and I think one of the best classes, or it's definitely a class I've got the most of. One above all, I've gone with Scorpion. I know Quicksilver or Human Torch is there. If it was my opinion, Immortal Abomination, I mean, it is my opinion, but I haven't used Scorpion, but I've seen what he can do. I mean, he is really good. The poisons, the charges, so much utility. One of the best new champs introduced. The same with Quicksilver. The whiplash damage that he does, the evades, the utility again, just so useful. Really can't go wrong with these champs. You get them, you take them up as to your highest rank. They're one of your best champs instantly. Human Torch, everyone knows about Human Torch. There's no point rambling on about him or Spidey 29 really. Spidey 29 takes no buffs. Human Torch just incinerates. That's all you got to say. No one's immune to the Nova Flame, basically. Do what you want with that information, but he's, world class, one of the best champs. And Immortal Abomination, you know how I feel about him. You've seen the videos on the channel. One of the best, in my opinion. Nothing more to say. So many poisons. No one's immune to acid burn. Great champ. We'll move on to the next tier because that top 5 speaks for itself. Overseer, really good. Auto block, really good. Defense in Battlegrounds, he's a really good defender in Battlegrounds. The same as Spider-Ham. And Mr. Negative and Mr. Fantastic, all great defenders. Mr. Fantastic has those unblockables, quite a pain, lots of evades, very, very, very good. As when he came out, loads of people used him. Cap Infinity War, the Furies, people love that man. Beardo, gets used all the time. So good for most content. Great synergies. Mr. Negative has the Delirious, which means the reverse controls. He's a pain for Battlegrounds. Great attacker as well. Another champ that I've not used much of, but I've seen a lot of people like him and rave about him. And then these last 2, Spider-Ham, he just damages you if you use a special attack. Good luck fighting him if you can't use a special attack. Unblockables, just a funny champ in general. And then the Thing, those rock stacks. If you don't have Falcon, if you don't have somebody who can counter him, good luck. You'll lose that fight in Battlegrounds all day, every day, and he's so hard to take on. Spot, not seen enough of him. Same with Titania. Not seen enough of those 2. Wish I could. I put them there. They'll probably move up or down. We don't know. But, 2 good champs. At Spot, bringing the new Untouchable. And then Anti-Venom. Lots of buffs. Same with Immortal Hulk. Not seen loads of them. I know what they do. Immortal Hulk's not one of my faves. Easy to take down. Same with Anti-Venom, but still really good champs. And then we've got Void, who I just got as a 6-star. I don't know whether to take him up. Let me know in the comments if you see this part of the video. Good champ, but yeah, not sure. And then with Quake, if you can Quake and Shake or Quake and Bake, however people say it, you can take down anyone in the game. If you're good at that, you're good. You can take out anyone. Not having to hit them is perfect for this. And it really works really well. Red Hulk can be useful in a lot of things. Saw he was useful in the new Eternity of Pain. Good for if you're just that incinerate damage on his attacks. Such a pain in the ass. Joe Fixit. When I last played this game, he was rubbish. I came back and now apparently he's great. So many buffs. She-Hulk, good, slow, good for unstoppables. The same with Red Guardian. No buffs on him. The slow. The blocking of unblockables, so useful, so much utility. Yellow Jacket, hate fighting him. I hate fighting Yellow Jacket. He's such a pain in the ass. The beams on his attacks, Hulk Ragnarok is the same, the unexpected smash. If you have Falcon, you take him down easy, or Valkyrie would be great, but he can be such a pain. Spider-Gwen with the evades, everyone knows about Spider-Gwen. Miles Morales, I didn't actually know this, but can block unblockable special attacks. He can be really useful if you get him sigged up, and Ant-Man is been buffed. What do I think of the buff? I think it's not bad. I don't think it's one of the best, but it's not too bad. And then this next one has a few people. So Luke Cage, I think he's a great champ. I really do. I think he's really, really good. I've got him ranked 1 maxed, 6-star. I think he's a good champ, does a lot of damage, but, you know, could do with a bit more to his kit. MODOK, if you've got Falcon, he's a nothing champ, really easy to take down. Invisible Woman, not very highly rated, but on defense, she's quite hard to take out. The same with Wasp and Electro. Everyone knows about those shocks. Every time you hit him, you get damage. What's all that about? Crazy. And then that last one is all people we've seen. Sentry, everyone knows he needs a buff. Abomination, lots of good poisons. Poison immune, he's useless. Rhino, Weird has that unblockable, unstoppable on his dashes, but no one really uses him, so it's pointless. And then OG Captain America World War II. I actually have to respect these guys. I love them. I used to love them when I played it a long time ago. I have them 6-starred, or I have World War II Cap. So good block proficiency, good for Cable, good for Ultron, sort of. So, you know, you can take him out. And OG Spider-Man is, well, he's Spider-Man. Everyone loves Spider-Man. But he is a rubbish champ. They all need a buff. And OG Hulk is the worst champ in the game, I reckon. Can evade every single thing. It's the same as Iron Fist. They need an upgrade. You can evade every single one of his attacks. He is useless. Does hardly any damage. The Thunderclap is cool, but it's not really very effective. I would say he's a nothing champ, and it might be worth, if you get him, just leave him as he is. He is really not very good at anything. No offense to him, but, you know, I'm sure he's not watching. So let's just move on to our next class. We've only got 2 left, Skill and Tech. Skill is the next. The one above all, Nick Fury, incredible. There's no counter to his second life. It's a second life, so every fight you have to, well, not every fight, but, you know, the first fight you have 2 lives, or until you lose all your health, that's 2 lives. Bleeds, a lot of them, unblockable, just the ultimate champion. Really, really good, really, really effective. On defense or on attack, you know, he can be used anywhere, and that's why he's one above all, probably one of the best champs in the game. But, you know, leave that up to you guys in the comments. So we'll move on to the next top 5. First, we've got Shang-Chi is one of the champions I want the most. I really want him. I loved the film. I love the character, so I did really want to get him. The SP2, just with those almost guaranteed criticals, and then his stun on some hits or on the end of his mediums, just really effective, really good attacker. Not much more you could ask from him, really. Just great, love him. I think he's really good, high utility. The same with Falcon, high critical rates when he's locked on. I've got him maxed 5-star, really good. Just want to awaken him to get that longer locked on. He is super effective at countering evade. No evades when he's locked on. He also minimizes a lot of stuff, so champs don't go unblockable if it, like, part of their attack. So some champions like Hulk Immortal I think does, or Hercules I also think might, but really good champs. Kingpin, really good defender, really good attacker. The SP2 always normally going unblockable, or at least unstoppable, and the amount of damage that does is crazy. Such a good defender. He's probably the champion I hate fighting the absolute most. If I see him, I avoid him. So really good on defense, really good. Got to get him ranked up. And Valkyrie is probably, apart from Galen, the one I want the most. I really, really want to get that unstoppable, get her to Sig 200. Think she'll be really good champ. Want to use her. Don't know much about her, but obviously from other lists and other things I've seen, she's got to be in your top 5. And so the next one, we've got Blade, really good champ. Another one I really want. So useful against interdimensional champs. Spot he absolutely shreds. So many bleeds, great regeneration, one of the best in the game. Crossbones, the purification, so effective. Really hard bosses on some of the quests. If you have him, he's good on defense. Worth it. Mole Man and Black Widow. Black Widow has the shocks that just absolutely crunches opponents if they're not shock immune. Does so much damage. And then with Mole Man, before he got the buff, top 5 now, still top 10. You know, really, really high. Really great champ. Hitmonkey, the same. good champ, does lots of damage. The purification is really good. And then Killmonger with the armor and the vibranium armor, such a good champ. Had him in the 4-star. He's still in my deck now. He's just does so much for the team. Next, we've got Stealth Spidey. I don't know loads about Stealth Spidey. This is where my knowledge starts to weaken. I know a bit, but not absolutely loads. Good champ, but I know that he can counter things, so that's always really useful. But leave it to you guys in the comments again. Aegon, the build-up of Fury, so effective, really good for Abyss. If it was all about Abyss, he'd be the best champ in the game. Such a, really useful. Misty Knight, the unblockable SP2, the amount of damage that does, the cold snap, the short stuns, really useful. And then Black Cat is very much the same. And however, this is a new champ I don't know loads about, haven't seen much gameplay. She looks like she can lay off a big SP2, but I'm not 100%. Jabari Panther with the stuns, and then Black Panther OG. So Jabari Panther, good purification, good use, good cleanses. Would be useful, good to get up, great defender. And then Black Panther OG, the absolute opposite, great attacker, so many bleeds, does so much damage. Really, really good. Moving on to the next one, we've got Agent Venom. So, Agent Venom with synergies, one of the best champs in the game. Without, not great. Does the purification, but that's about it. I've also got Kraven in there. I think with the root, he's effective, but however, he could also lose a bit of. He doesn't do loads of damage and is trumped by these champs above him. Thor Ragnarok with 20 hits and he basically gains an SP3. That's how it works, the amount of power that he gets. However, if you're on attack, it's a bit different. He is a good champ. His SP3 is powerful. The amount of shocks he lays off after, very useful. Masakre incinerates the SP2 damage. That can do so much damage. The hitting into the block to get incinerates, then they build up. That's hella damage. And then we've got, he is a good champ. He should be leveled up. Korg is another, on defense, one of the best in the game. Top 5, easy with Thorns. Sig 200, good luck fighting him. He's so tricky. But on attack, he is pretty useless. And this is obviously a all-round tier list. And then we've got Elsa Bloodstone. If you get a bleed on her, you get degenerated. Great on defense. Good on attack as well. If you're fighting someone like Morningstar, really useful. I think she's a good champ, but I haven't used her much. Ronan, not a bad champ. He can do a bit of damage. I know some people do like him a lot, but he's not one for me. Same with Gwenpool. A lot of people can like her. I don't. I think she's just a pain on some of the quests. She's annoying because of the nodes, but she's not a great champ. Nothing much else to say about her. Night Thrasher and Squirrel God are the same. Mid champs. They're in this column for a reason. They don't offer you too much and they could do with a buff, but Squirrel Girl does have that 40 hit combo start when she's sigged and then can build up from there. And then Hawkeye, his buff was good. The power drain is very effective. The power steal was good. I do think he is a good champ now he's been buffed. Black Panther Civil War, he does get a lot of hate, but I think that stun is, you parry him and you get stunned. You can get hit for so much damage after that. I think he is a good champ, a bit underrated. However, Karnak, Winter Soldier, and OG Black Widow are the opposite. Some people like them, I hate them. Winter Soldier does damage in the block, but he's useless. Got him 6-star, rubbish. Karnak, again, rubbish. And OG Black Widow, useless. You could dex their attacks easy. The same with both Daredevils and Punisher. Punisher has the sort of extended life at the end of when he gets to 1%. Doesn't always work, but that's that. And then last we had Moon Knight. Moon Knight is the champ I want the buff the most. I love the series. I want a new costume design. I think he was great, but yeah, definitely could do with a buff. He's so useless. Rubbish he does some damage, but his SP2 is the only thing that you can evade, or is so easy to evade. Yeah, needs an upgrade, or I'd love him to get one. So finally, let's move on to our last class of the tech class. I know this has been a long video. If you've watched this far, please give it a like, please subscribe. I'll be offering, we'll be updating this together, doing it through the comments, seeing what you guys have to say. That would be so much appreciated. So let's begin on this last class. Ghost is the best. That could change with Infamous Iron Man. I just haven't played with him enough, don't know much about him, not seen many gameplay with him. I can't put him up there yet. She is really good, the phasing. for suicides is really ideal. The amount of damage that she can do running through the quests, old walkthroughs, always recommend her. Currently is my one above all. Infamous Iron Man is probably second. Such a great champ. I think he's so good. From what I've seen, really difficult to play against. Good attacker, good defender, but he likely to be the one above all. Nimrod, a mutant destroyer. You face a mutant with Nimrod and it's all over. You know, he'll take them out easy. The sometimes unblockables on the SP2, the unstoppables, so difficult to play against. Such a great champ. And then Warlock. Everyone has a Warlock. Everyone loves a Warlock. So effective. If you can get a good one, then... Or if you get a Warlock, then you rank him up instantly. That's just how it works. The same with Ultron. Ultron, a really good champ. I've got him. Sig ability is so effective facing people like Shuri, as you saw in one of my most recent vids. He absolutely shreds her and regenerates all that health. The degenerations on mutants and then the bleeds on other champs is so effective. Really great champ. If I could choose, I'd have him much higher, but I mean, he's in the top 5. That's the least I could ask. Then we've got Omega Sentinel, really good champ, high prestige. When she came out, she was, you know, regarded as one of the best, and now she's sort of fallen down. That prestige being high got a lot of people to rank her up, but I don't think she's quite what everyone expected. That's not to say she's not a great champ, still better than most of these champs in the class, in her own class. Really good champion, really so much utility, it's insane. Really, really effective. Definitely worth upgrading. Guardian, if you get him to Sig 200, no one has better energy resistance than he does. Penny Parker, the best defender in the game, probably, you know, so good. The power burns, the amount of damage that can shred off, incredible. Get her up, get her ranked up, get her sigged, get her in your BG Battleground defense. Stark Spidey, I've seen Legacy do great, amazing things with him. He was everyone's MVP, you know, at one point running through quests. I think he's a great champ, does so much damage. If you're not fighting a cosmic against him, you know, all special attacks are evaded basically if that AI is online. So effective. And then we've got Hulkbuster, who I just pulled as a 6-star. Big damage, unblockables on special attacks, really, really useful. And then Captain America Sam Wilson, the ruptures, you know, almost a tech version of Falcon, not quite, but still very, very useful, very, very effective. Another great champ, definitely get him up. Mysterio, somebody I haven't played against too much. Every time I fight against him, he's so annoying. The special attacks, the surprise evades, just such a pain. Yondu, the same. He's obviously at the bottom there. The armor breaks are just obscene. The amount of damage that, you know, the piercing through the block of the bleeds, so annoying. The amount of damage he does, such a pain. Rocket Raccoon just got the buff. I'll leave that one up to you guys because it's not been out very long. See what you think. Let me know in the comments. Guillotine 2099 and Punisher 2099 come out at the same time. Both not bad champs. They're not fantastic, but they're not, you know, they're not bad. They're in, you know, they're in the fourth column, so they must be good, and they obviously are. But they don't have that specific niche like all the other ones above them do, but still better than the ones below. And then Nebula, really good. Shocks. The amount of damage she can do if she builds those up is insane. Really, really useful. Moving on to the next tier, the middle tier. Dr. Octopus, a lot of people are loving him at the minute. The scientific breakthroughs and bits like that he can do to give you increased armor is really, really useful. And then moving on to Iron Man Infinity War. He is due a buff soon. Everyone knows that one's coming. I think he's a good champ already. The unblockable SP1 is so annoying, but can be very useful. After him, we've got Sentinel. I know I didn't speak about Iron Man Infinity War. I'm going to wait till that buff and speak about it a bit more. Sentinel, quite good. The Incinerates on SP2 are difficult to get rid of. Sometimes they come through the block. I think he's a relatively easy champ to fight against, but has its uses on attack. War Machine with the suppression is really good. You hardly gain any power after the buff. Very useful. Definitely somebody you should think about bringing up. And both Visions with the Ultron synergy or with their synergies to always get Fury. The power burn, the power control that they have is so useful. You know, you might think they're a bit dull, a bit boring, but they can really offer a lot of utility. Same with Darkhawk. He is somebody else who offers a lot of utility. The misses he has, or the shield mode, and then can't think of what the other one's called. stealth mode, going into misses, very useful. The same with Vulture. Does a lot of damage, more of an attacker than a defender, I'd say. Civil Warrior is the complete opposite, however. Big defender, lots of armor. I mean, if you fought Galen against him, he'd destroy him in like 1 second, the amount of armor ups he gets, but can be really useful. And then Howard the Duck and Silver Centurion are both mid champs, not great, nothing to write home about, but, you know, not horrendous. But then going into these last three, these are horrendously bad champions. Red Skull, if you don't hit his block, he's useless. If you hit his block, he does a lot of damage. He's good on defense, but, you know, if you just know how to fight against him, he's not difficult. Kang, rubbish. You don't even really see him that often. Psycho Man is somebody who some people don't like fighting against. I don't really mind it. Don't think he's bad. He doesn't really do much on attack. You know, neither here nor there. Star-Lord is a bit of an old school MVP. He was one of the old champs, one of the first out. Did a lot of damage in his SP2. However, he has fallen a bit behind the power curve. A shame, but hopefully he gets a bit of a buff. He's the only... he's probably the only Guardian who's yet to get a buff, him or Drax. So hopefully they get theirs soon. And then the last one, we've got Lab Ultron. No one's really got him anymore, but nowhere near as good as the main Ultron. Iron Patriot, pretty rubbish, just a rip-off Iron Man, and that's not a good thing. And then Green Goblin needs a good buff. That man is so cool. You know, we all saw the new Spider-Man. What a film that was, and what a performance that was by Willem Dafoe, which is the exact reason we need an upgrade. We need a new Green Goblin. We need an evil one. But yeah, he's really not great. And the worst champ probably in the game is Iron Man. He has that regeneration. He has a hard SP2 that does a lot of damage, but it really is useless. And he is a useless champion. That sort of rounds up all the classes. So that's the tier list. I mean, a very long video, I know a lot of you won't watch it all. As I said, the image will be image of the whole thing, which I'll get back up on screen in a second, will be in the comments. You can download that and take a screenshot however you like it. If you have watched this far, I really appreciate it. I did put a lot of work into making this, and if you've watched it all, you know, thank you so much. Please leave a like, please subscribe, but most importantly, get in the comments, discuss who you want up, who you want down, and then in December or early January, I know this is a late November one, maybe late December, I know it's around Christmas time, but we'll try and get another one out of all the who's moved up, who's moved down, and we'll go through it again. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, please subscribe, leave a comment. See you guys later. Bye.